Have you thought about Valentine's Day yet? Do you like hearts? Hearts are great for any time of year, but Valentine's Day is approaching, and I was thinking, what could I make that's inexpensive, uses things I have on hand, and I can get done in less than 30 minutes. I got some wire. I have a couple bowls of buttons, white ones and red ones. So let's go ahead and I'll show you what I'm going to make. I bet you can guess. Okay, we have our wire cut. I used some very thin wire for this one. It's about 12 inches long. And what we're going to do is make some button hearts. So we need to get the wire into the shape of a heart. So grab something that is rounded, like this pill bottle, and I'm going to kind of bring the ends together. This is the bottom of the heart right down here, and then we need two humps up here for the heart, and then we'll pull this down in the middle like a heart shape, kind of like these buttons I've got arranged here. So I'm going to take this pill bottle and just form it around the wire like that, and take it off and bring this up and put the pill bottle back on this side to form the other hump or the rounded portion of the heart. And it makes it a lot nicer. I tried to do this by hand and it didn't come out very well. So there is our heart shape. And I have buttons laid out. I put some small ones for the middle portions, and I have a few more over here on this plate, and I have a lot more in a jar if I need them. So I don't know for sure if this is going to be enough. We will get started and see. So I'm going to start up here. I'm just going to thread some of the buttons onto the wire. These are either 2-hole. This is a 2-hole button. This is a 4-hole button. And we're just going to put it through one of the holes and put it right there. We're going to start in the middle, and we're going to add one here, one here, one here, one here, one on each side. And we're going to use the ones right up here, just like that. And this should be a really quick, and I think I'm going to need more buttons. And that's okay, I have plenty. I'm going to put on 2 on this side, and then we'll go to the other side and put on some more. And we'll have to arrange them so that they stay where they're supposed to go, just like that. What I think I'm going to do is stop and get a bead stopper. Okay. I have some actual bead stoppers, but I didn't find one easily, so I went and got some binder clips. I'm going to clip this right over here on this side, and it will keep the beads from, or the buttons, I usually use this with beads, but it will keep the buttons from moving all the way down and falling off. And just in case, I'm going to put one near the end over here. Then I'll work on the buttons for this side. Just going to thread them on. And this is a simple little craft that you can do with kids, with an older person. It's very simple. So I'm definitely going to need some more buttons. I got my large button jar that has mostly all white buttons and picked through and found quite a few more. So I'm going to continue on this side adding buttons. It's just so simple. This is kind of relaxing. I've been collecting buttons forever, actually. I just love them. I think they're little works of art. And I enjoy using them because when they're just hidden away in a jar or a tin, you don't get a look at them. So this will be fun to have some hearts out in the world, using up some of my sweet little buttons. And I like the buttons with holes in them better than the shank buttons. I mean, those are very pretty usually, but they're can be kind of fancy, and I'm not a fancy person. Not all of them are fancy, but I just like the simplicity of buttons. I think they're a great invention. So we're going to loop the wire up through the other side of the buttons. So this might be getting close to all we need on this side. Put on a few more. And then I'm going to move my clip to this side so that those buttons won't fall off. Now I'll take this clip off and we will add more buttons from this side onto the wire. Need a few more over here. Okay, can you see the heart? Now I'm going to take the clip off and I'm going to twist the wire right there at the bottom. And then I want to thread it back up through. I don't know if you can see that. I'm just going to put it back through some holes. I want it to go through at least 3 or 4 buttons. There, and I'll just pull that out with my my flat nose pliers. Make it really taut. And then I'll put this side over here through some holes. Go through at least 2 or 3 buttons. There we go. I'm going to pull that wire through. And I will trim this very close . Okay, this time we're going to make one of these button hearts with red buttons. And I have a mixture of red colors in here. I'm going to go ahead and make my rounded shapes again. I think this will give it a lot of dimension, the different colors. Just go ahead and get this wire into a heart shape. That's pretty good. Looks like it's a little bigger on this side, so I'm going to do that. I think that'll be fine. So I'm going to go ahead and put a stopper right over here to keep the buttons from sliding right off the end. And I'll put one down here just as a little insurance policy. So we are going to take some small buttons and put them in the center, because where it curves, there's not as much room. This will help the buttons lay better, I think. And I'll move some up to the other side, just like that. And then keep adding the small ones until we get to a place where I think it can handle some of the larger size. Go ahead and bring that down. There we go. So now I'm going to just start adding a little bit larger buttons. But this one I'm not using too many large size ones. I picked through and pulled out the larger ones like this. We'll just use the, I don't know, 1/2 inch, 1 inch buttons. I don't know what size these are. Okay, this has a nice mix of sizes, so it's giving it some dimension here. And I'm going to go ahead and stop right there and put the stopper over on this side and remove this little stopper and continue adding buttons to fill this wire. So I'll use some smaller ones and gradually start adding some larger ones. So it's good to separate your buttons by size before you start, or you'll be picking through them, which is okay too, whatever you want to do. Or if you want them to be jagged and different sizes, then just randomly pick one up. That works too. This takes quite a few buttons. So if you have a lot of red or pink or white buttons on hand, grab them and a couple pieces of wire and make yourself some of these. I'm going to stop and take a look. Well, this is a lot nicer, I think, than the white one. It just, the different purples and pinks, kind of pink, but mostly red and purple. I think that's really pretty. And this stopper's starting to come off. So I think I'll add a few more to this side, and then we will just wrap the wires together. I don't think we'll slip it through, but we'll make sure it's nice and secure. And I'm going to take off a few of those and put a couple small ones at the bottom. That should be enough wire left. Okay, now we'll add a few more onto this side. Okay. So this is going to be a little bit lopsided, but I think that's going to be great. So I am going to twist the wire right here. And I'm going to trim off those ends. And there is our red one. And I found this tiny little red shank button. It's red with white flowers. Isn't that cute? And I'm going to wire that on to cover up this little piece of wire where those buttons meet. I'm just going to use a piece about this long, thread that through here, and I'm just going to place it right there. I want it to be good and tight right up there so it stays in place. And there are our two finished button hearts. I hope you liked this button heart project. I think these came out pretty cute. And feel free to make some for yourself, give them away, keep them, whatever you'd like. And I will see you next time. Thanks, bye.